G'day punters, and welcome to what is the last Group 1 of the year, the 2023 year. There's still plenty of Group 1s to go this season, but the Northerly Stakes over in Perth, that rounds out the calendar year. DJC joining me, mate. You weren't here last week, but you were over in Perth, and you were up close and personal with the eventual Winterbottom winner, mate. Overpass, he bolted in, and it might have been your little lucky pat, hey?
It was, mate. It was obviously to be over in the west at that stage. Obviously, it was planned a lot prior to not even thinking the race. I guess planning those dates. Obviously, it was a bit disappointing that I couldn't attend due to work purposes. Would have loved to have been there to watch Overpass get home. But yeah, mate, I was fortunate enough to get a message from the big man Luke Hilton himself to say, mate, if I'm in the area to call in and say good day to a few horses. There was also Zoom On, who runs around on Saturday, and also Ayrton was there as well. So few nice horses there, mate. But yeah, when I got there, Lukey was just pretty much saying, look, we can't get him to eat. He's just not looking himself. He doesn't want to go out for a gallop. He's very disinterested in being in Perth. As soon as I got there, mate, just real pep in his step. Ate all his dinner. Looked to somehow, I don't know how, but as soon as I got there, his coat just started shining. Muscles were popping out. It was just, I don't know. It's only happened 2 or 3 times before. So yeah, mate, it was good. Got to see Overpass. He's not a big horse. It's the first time I've been that up and close to him, and mate, it kind of felt like I was walking around a bit of a show pony. It looked like it was. I got a few messages saying, "Is that a really small horse? Or are you just a massive man?" But no, it was awesome, mate. It was great. And then actually when I left there, I went to a local cafe, and Joshy Parr was having a coffee. So I just said, he goes, mate, how was he looking? I said, he's looking a lot better now, Joshy. Don't worry too much about it, mate. And he goes, how should I ride it? I said, mate, just go for it. And when you come around that corner, this might sound a bit weird, but just try and get right out to the middle. And he goes, what? You're kidding. I'm going to hug the rail and win by plenty. I said, mate, trust me. Get out to the middle, unleash, and all those swampers will have to try and find another way to beat you. And obviously on the day he followed my expertise, I guess.
Obviously, that's what it was. No doubt, Scott Darby from Derby Racing's listening. I'm sure he'll sling you a little bit of the prize money for those tactics, mate. What did you for the punters that are listening that don't know DJC's taking the piss there? What did you actually think when you were watching it when he came off the fence? Did you think, hang on, what's he doing?
Mate, I probably don't have as much as a trained eye as a lot of people. But mate, to be honest, I thought oh geez, the horse is like gone, and Joshy may not have been able to, he was kind of lost the handle on it. I guess you could say, some horses just go out and it's a bit of a horror watch. But then when he straightened up, and you could just see how comfortable Parry was on it, and he just kind of gave it a bit of a reminder. There was still a bit of a scary moment there around the 200 when I think it was Oscar's Fortune was taking ground off it pretty quickly up the inside there. But then I think it's almost like he kind of kicked again Overpass and was, strong past the line. It was great win, great tactics. Shout out to the Baker Hilton team. Obviously, Hilton's been overseas. The princess of the leg up, Rachel King, third place, or second runners up as they call it over there. Which sounds better. I'm pretty happy now. I just remembered my school 100 metres. That means I come 10th runners up, which I'm pretty happy with that.
Yeah, well, that's what I often thought. You used to get the sort of, what was it, red ribbon, that maybe blue for winning, green for running third, and red for second, and then you used to get a white one if you were in the race. So, yeah. You got white ribbons over in Hong Kong. But no, you're right, mate. That was great. She gave that horse an absolute peach last night as well. I don't know if you saw it, but in that first leg of the IJC.
$15 winner or something, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a nice result. Probably the best result I've ever had past 10:30 on a Wednesday night. So that was good. Good to see Rach get a check there.
Mate, back to Overpass. What was your thoughts on the race when it came around the bend? Were you?
I thought he'd laid it. I just thought he sort of crabbed around the corner, and Parry might have just been a bit of a passenger. But then, obviously, I didn't get a chance to watch many of the earlier races. But listening to Josh post race, it was all part of the plan because a lot of horses have been coming down the middle of the track. So Yeah, those big time riders, mate, they make a difference because you never know, if he stayed on the fence, he might have got beat.
Yeah, well, that Oscar's Fortune obviously had to change its track from the outside to the inside. Pikey would have been just loving a dream run right down the outside, like he did on Yonga Lass earlier in the day, which was, if you didn't see it, you probably wouldn't believe it, to be honest.
Yeah, it was a big win. I had to go back and watch the replay a couple of times, and I think every time I watched it and watched it again, I thought, geez, she still can't win.
Yeah.
but no, it was a big win. She might be one to stick in the black book. Yonga
Yep.
Lass. Um, Overpass, he's got a slot in the Quokka for next year now, so he'll go back to Perth and defend his title. Unbeaten in Ascot, so
Yeah, they've already booked my flights too for that, so that'll be good.
Yep, so you're in to get a photo with the horse on the Tuesday, cafe meeting with Josh Parr on the Wednesday for tactics, and then trackside for the rest of the week.
Yeah, because the Quokka, he just stayed on the rail, didn't he?
Yeah, I think he
And Amelia's Jewel was flying.
Yeah, he flew down the middle. So.
Yeah, but no, it was just what a ride.
Yep, great ride, great win, deserving Group 1 winner.
If Oscar's Fortune came up the inside and beat him, everyone would have been absolutely blowing up. Why didn't he stay inside? That's just one of those things, I guess. If you win, you're a hero. If you take on those, I guess, tactics that not many people would do, and it doesn't come off, you're in the bin.
Yep, that's right, mate. Game of inches, but mate, a bit of news throughout the week as well. It's probably still a few years away, but Rosehill Gardens. It sounds like we won't be racing at Rosehill much longer. 25,000 houses or homes or people in a mini city.
Mini city.
Yeah, that sounds pretty interesting. But mate, is Rosehill? I'm not from Sydney. I've never been to Rosehill, but you're sort of a New South Welshman. Have you had a chance to get to Rosehill many times? And what do you make of the decision to get rid of it?
Mate, I've been several times. I actually went there for my Bucks party to Rosehill Racecourse, and I actually went again with Paddy Allendorf, the Mug. First time I met the Mug, and that was the day we got the quaddie. We all threw it on the table and got a nice quaddie and went out and had espresso martinis until the sun come up. So pretty fond memories of Rosehill, mate. I think it's a cracking track to watch the races at. I think it was Lee Friedman may have came out today and said that for them to do this, they're not going to be moving us to somewhere exactly the same or just better. It's going to have to be, a lot better of I guess a stadium, a complex, you could say. So like, I know, Hildo mentioned earlier that this can only mean, positives for racing. Because I think they're doing, it was massive upgrades to Canterbury, massive upgrades to Warwick Farm. I think Randwick's getting a little bit of was it Randwick as well? Getting a bit of it.
Maybe something with the grandstand.
Yeah.
I might have
and then obviously Peter V'landys, he's not going to let something like this, I guess, fall to pieces. I think it's going to be massive, and it's going to be, although the old. I guess race lovers, they're going to be a bit disappointed. I know Mug's not very happy with it.
No.
I can hear him kicking his hat up the Rosehill straight from here, to be honest. But, mate, I think it's just going to be a positive. It's going to get more people in. I think it's going to open it up to younger audiences again. It's going to be, V'landys. I don't know. A few people have come out and said they're going to, will they take on Happy Valley kind of vibe or something like that, which would be unreal.
Yeah, well, that's what I keep thinking is PVL's been so brilliant with so much of sort of developing racing New South Wales over the past few years. Like you look at the Everest and you look at the Golden Eagle and whatnot. I just can't see how him getting. I think it's $5 billion as well. So that's what's going into racing New South Wales or the ATC's pocket to build this new place. I just can't see how it could be a bad thing. And I'll be honest with you, mate, I hate betting at Rosehill. I hate the track. That shorter straight, like how often it's on pace, and I'm not a fan of it. So I'm more than happy to see the arse end of it. But I know that'll make a lot of people unhappy, and for those that have been going to Rosehill their entire life, it certainly will be sad. But yeah, out with the old, in with the new, hey.
That's right. It's something. It's got to, eventually everything has to change, I guess, and as long as it's for the better. And I'm sure the naysayers will come around once they get to the new establishment, and because Rosehill, like if you do go there on a big day, it's unless you're doing the Zamet sprint to the table, it can be a tough day on the feet, mate, on the foot falcon. So it's going to be bigger, better, which is, I reckon it's going to be unreal.
Yep, bring it on. Question off the top of your head, or one without notice here. So, Moonee Valley, it's going to be doing a bit of a reconstruction as well. The straight's going to become longer. So I think 2025 they need a new home for the Cox Plate. One track. Where would you want to see the Cox Plate run? It can be a real answer, or it can be. I saw your comment, Warrnambool.
Yeah, I got the bull. I put the bull on the leg up page before. I don't know, mate. It's such a big day. Obviously, it's going to have to be a big track that I guess that can manage the people. Obviously, it has to stay in Melbourne. Does that just leave like Caulfield or Flemington? I guess. Like I think that'll have to be. That's I guess the logical. But like pure. Imagine if they just took it out to like a country track in Vic. Like, geez, it'd. But they won't do that. They're not going to put multi-million-dollar horses around on a pothole track, are they?
No, well, that's right. I would dare say the new Caulfield track will get the tick, but it'll certainly be interesting to see what they do. I say they bring it to Kilcoy. They call Kilcoy the Moonee Valley of the North, so let's keep it at Moonee Valley, but just run it in Queensland.
That's right. But it'll be a lot different, obviously, with the straight at Moonee Valley. It's going to be a different race, isn't it?
Yeah, completely. I was watching a bit of a feature they did on racing.com the other day, and they were talking about how the new track, and I think it'll go from a 180 metre straight to a 320 metre straight. So it'll be totally different. It'll be probably a bit more like a Doomben or even a Caulfield. Like that's kind of going to be the size of it. But it sounds like it's going to be a shorter track in circumference. So it's going to go from like 1,800 metres to 1,700. But maybe a bit more like a square, I guess, with that longer straight. And the winning post, I think, goes from. I think the grandstand's going to be moving to a whole new spot, basically. So it goes from like the western side to the northern side, I believe. So it'd be interesting to see what they do. There you go.
Yeah, a lot of things happening in the racing world.
It's all happening, mate, but nothing as important as Group 1 racing and finding a winner. So let's get stuck into the tips. We're going to do the Group 1 Northerly Stakes first, which is over in Perth, your happy hunting ground of late, mate. Weight for age, it's 1,800 metres in Zaaki. I think you're $2.70 favourite there with Dabble. Are you with him? I think he's won 4 Group 1s, 10.8 million in prize money. Hard to beat.
Mate, good horse, and Zaaki could easily take up the running from barrier 10 and just run them into the ground. It's a class horse, but it's going to have to do it without my money, unfortunately, because I'll be on the Wizard and our Safina to bounce back and go one better than they have. It's 3 starts this prep. I thought last effort was actually pretty good in the Group 1 railway behind Bustler. Gets it out to an extra 200 metres. I think if it was an extra 200 metres against Bustler, he was coming home pretty strongly. I think he would have got over him. So I think that extra distance is going to be ideal. It's just going to be, I think, hopefully one of those classic Pike rides, mate. Bide his time, look to present around the 200, and will win by half a head.
Half a head. Margin betting now as well.
Our Pike classic. He's done it!
Mate, I can't knock her. She's racing well this prep. So, like you said, 3 seconds from the 3 runs. I think Zaaki's going to be very hard to beat, but there was a run in the railway that it might not have been very hidden, to be completely honest, but he ran 4th, Tricks of the Trade. He won the railway 12 months ago, and he's only had 4 starts since this race last year, where he ran 6th behind Amelius Jewel. He drew barrier 15 of 15 that day, so they had to make a decision, and that decision was to go all the way back to last, and he hit the line really well there. He's a year older now, so he's got to carry that extra half a kilo with the 59, and he's racing the big boys. But I thought his run in the railway deserved to finish closer, and he probably wouldn't be. I think he's $19. I don't think if he had have got the run and say he ran second, or even if he had have won the railway, he's $6 or $7 here. So,
was that the horse that everyone got into the group chat straight after and said that should have probably won, or was that Dom to Shoot?
I think it was Tricks of the Trade, because he was. Dom to Shoot was a big run as well. He was further back, but I think Blake pointed out that Tricks of the Trade was stiff.
Because I think Blake was obviously Bustle was a good winner. I think Blake, he was the week before, he got it. He was pretty keen on Zip Away in this race here, the Northerly based off its last win. Was it a win last start?
Yeah, so it won the WA Guineas on the same night, and now comes here. So it's looking to do what Amelia's Jewel did 12 months ago,
Yeah.
win the Guineas and win the Northerly, which a lot of good 3-year-olds have. They got a really good record in this race. So
Yep.
um, so El Safina for you, Tricks of the Trade for me. No real Zaaki from either of us. Just
Yeah, definitely has to be in your multiples.
has to be in your multiples. There's a fun fact about Zaaki, if you want to call it a fun fact, but at going back a couple of years when he was in his prime, and Enemo was also in his prime. I just happened to have a look. You probably could have called them the two best sort of weight for age horses in the country at the time. Zaaki is born on the same day as me, obviously years later, but he's born 15th of February, and Enemo was born 16th of November, which is the same day as my partner's birthday. So
Yeah, there you go.
there you go. A little bit of racing royalty. I might
That's right.
that might be why Zaaki. I've had a photo with Zaaki when he won the Q22, I think. So
Be interested to see what Paddy and Sam do with it, because I think they're in charge of the Anti-Zaaki fan. What's it called? The Anti-Zaaki Fan Club, or
yeah, I think the AZFC.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it'd be interesting to see if they back it. So for the punters that don't know, obviously we have a bit of a Group 1 tipping competition, which the mug is well out in front due to a $30 or $40 winner that he somehow snared.
Yeah, what did he get? Did he get Griff in the Corporate Guineas? Yeah.
Yeah, so there's a fair bit of distance there. So I don't know if people are going to go a bit wide and try and jag a bit of a roughie. I think me and Gavo could be in reach of him if we jag something at a decent price, but I don't know if I just play it safe and just try and hold on to that third spot.
Try and get that second runners up.
Yeah, just second runners up. I think I finished on the podium last year as well, so geez, a couple of blokes below me are going ordinary, I tell you.
Oh, mate, I can't pick my feet up. I think I'm on 30 points. So I've been trying to chase for the last 6 or 7 weeks, and it hasn't been working. I should have just been tipping your favourites.
Yeah,
I'd be on twice as many, but not to worry. Let's head over to Sydney. It's the $2 million, the Ingham, win and you're into the Doncaster next year. And it's a pretty wide open race, really. Just as I bring it up, Detonator Jack, he's your current favourite, of course, dominant in the gong last start, so he's $4.40. Osipenko $8, Lions Raw $8.50, and Villana $10 on the quick backup after probably being a little bit disappointing this prep Villana.
Yeah, mate, like as you said with Det Jack, absolutely superb last start, and it has to be obviously a big chance based off it. I'm going with a bit of value here, mate. I really like the setup of a horse called Lions Raw at close to 10-1. Thought he was unreal last start, finishing second behind Spengler. Had to carry 62 kilos on that day and jumped from barrier 20. So to rattle home for second, there's absolutely superb run. Drops close to 10 kilos here and draws in much better in barrier 5, which I think is, to lose 10 kilos is, obviously massive. Since been back to the trials in between its last start and this Saturday for a nice win. I think Sherry, he'll look to settle back and fly home again this time, obviously under a lot less weight.
Yeah, mate. He's been going good, hasn't he? Just sort of sneaking under the radar a little bit. What did you say? The little dance last start where he ran second to Spangler. So, yep, have to be right in it. Mate, I found this race really hard because a few horses that I liked drew really wide. I had something on Dark Destroyer at a big price. I think he's the rank outsider. He's gone up like it's $81 with Dabble, but I had something on him all in to this on the back of his run in the Hunter. And it was just a sneaky run. He couldn't go with them early. They ran a track record there, and he sort of picked up late. But good, it's going to be probably a good 3 at Randwick on Saturday, and he just needs rain. So that sort of half put a pen through him. Osipenko was the other one, drew barrier 24.
Oh.
So
has that just had a horrid run with barriers?
Yeah, just all prep. It's just everything's gone wrong for it. I think going into the autumn, you've just got to put a complete pen through Osipenko's spring and start from scratch. Communist, who I tipped in the gong, when that rain came, it just did not like the wet track one bit. So maybe it back onto a dry track's got to be a chance. But One horse that I know Chris Wallace had a bit of a spruik on for a long time is Waterford.
Yeah.
I noticed that the blinkers go on for the first time on Saturday, and he's drawn barrier 13, so not great, but not sort of end of the world. He ran fifth in that gong behind Detonator Jack, so he's going to meet him a little bit better off at the weights.
Yeah. And
Hopefully-
for a second there, he looked like he could have won it. The race, he was coming down that outside. He always gives that good sight down the outside, Waterford.
Well, that's right. He's sort of becoming that horse, but maybe maybe the heavy track he just didn't like it. So back on top of the ground, he's going to run a consistent race like he always does. But the race is a complete lottery, mate.
Yeah.
Anything could win it. I think Detonator Jack probably comes out and wins by 3 lengths again.
Yeah, could have blown him away because I think that the bottom weight there, that Foxy Cleopatra, that's going to Ballarat.
I think so. Yeah.
So that'll come out.
Well, I think the bottom 4 are emergency.
Emergency.
So I think maybe one of them, there's one scratching. So Williamsburg gets a run, but whether or not they run him on the quick backup on a dry track when he needs a wet track, I'm not sure. But
there's a couple of horses at good odds. Like, as you said, it's a bit of a lottery. Like, you got that Cephas up the top at 14-1, Surf Dance at 41, that Hinged at 23. Like, this could be an anything race.
Yeah, that's right. And I think like you go back through it the last couple of years, it's been a bit of a blowout. I think Kerwin's Lane won it last year at big odds. Brutality the year before would have been a reasonable price, I would have thought, because he never won out of turn. So it's that sort of race.
Yep.
If you can find the winner, you'll be absolutely cheering. I think.
That's right. Could be one of the old same race multi bets, I think, mate.
Yep.
Top four, top four, top four, top four.
Have the first 4. Alrighty, let's get over to my happy hunting ground. Hey, Eagle Farm, the Gateway race 8 on the program. This one's it's got a little bit of the Ingham vibes with the win and you're in, but they've changed it up this year. So the winning connections get a slot into the Stradbroke, so they can pick any horse. They can take this horse, they can take a different horse into the Stradbroke. I would say most of them will be taking whatever horse wins, but mate, Freedom Rally, he's the current favourite. It's sort of been one that I've sort of spruiked for a while and said that this is his race when he was up and about winning races in the winter at light grade. Midnight in Tokyo, she had her colours lowered last start over 13.50. Ekaterina, another one, she'd won 2 in a row and then got beaten last start. That's sort of your market order. $3 Freedom Rally. Are you with the favourite, mate?
No, I'm not, mate. I know that Semi doesn't mind the old Freedom Rally as well. I think one day, was it the last leg of a multi or something, and it was paying... Might have been the day it came 5th or something. It was paying $1 something ridiculous, and it went under.
It probably was, because I think he got galloped on in Sydney when he had that. He went down for that one run at the end of last prep.
Yeah. That was the day, and I think it broke Sam's heart. But mate, I was very, very close to going with old John Rambo, but mate, I just couldn't get away from a horse, Midnight in Tokyo. I followed it its last 2, possibly 3 starts. Really like the way the horse lets down. She'll be peaking near 4th up, barrier 7. I think young Bailey Wheeler looked to settle midfield with a bit of cover and unleash in the run home. If she gets clear running, she could be having the last say.
She could, mate. She could very well do. I was against her last start when she went around odds on in that benchmark 78, and my reasoning there was the 1350. She goes to 1400 now, so again a little query, but in her favour, she does drop 3 kilos, so she goes from 58 kilos down to 55, which has got to count for something. But mate, I'm with the favourite here, Freedom Rally. I've made him best of the day at Eagle Farm on Saturday. His run first up, it might have looked disappointing to the eye, especially if you backed him and took the $2.70 first up at the Sunshine Coast, but he just sort of had to do a little bit of work early. He was caught wide, and then the winner, who was the face, skipped away, and that track can be pretty hard to make ground sometimes, even though it's a big wide track. If those leaders get their own way, they can be hard to catch, but the face has come out again and won last Saturday, franking that form. The 5th horse, Hardware Lane, he won at Ipswich last Wednesday and then backed up yesterday and won again, franking that form. So it's been a good form race. He ran some good time. James Orman, he's 25% Brisbane Metro this season, and Tony Golan, if you go through the feature races in Queensland so far this summer. He's won 3 of the 4, so I think he's on a roll. I know he's got lots of horses in this race. He's got 6 or 7 of them, but yeah, Freedom Rally the top seed for me, mate. And I think he should be too good for this lot.
Might be a nice little Quinella there, I reckon, because I think Midnight in Tokyo, that'll be coming home at a rate of knots like it did when it got over. I think it was Glorious Ruby 2 starts ago. Mate, quick question, Eagle Farm. What are you doing? What are you going to do with Spywire? Just sit and watch?
No, as far as I know, it won't be coming to Brisbane.
Wow.
As far as I know, it'll be running on Wednesday at Wyong in the Magic Millions Wyong race. That's the...
What would we be paying there? $1.10?
Well, hopefully not, but probably.
What about Barbie's sister?
She's on top. She can bounce back.
I reckon she can too.
She got left in front a long way from home at the Sunshine Coast on debut.
Surely some improvement from that.
Yeah, and she'd only had the one 650 metre jump out going into it too, so she was probably, in hindsight, if I know I backed her at the short price, thinking she'd just be too good, but she'll take fitness out of it. She'll take that race experience out of it. She gets barrier 1 this time. And James Ormond goes on board. You can't do much wrong with him in the saddle.
Mate, I think is it the first 4 races, maybe first 5 races, if you're a favourite backer, you're either going to have a very, very good start to the day or a very, very poor start. I think in race 1, you've got Karuda at about $1.70.
Yep.
Race 2, you've got, which will probably be my best bet of the day, Willinga Freefall in Doomben. Eagle Farm, sorry. Then you obviously $1.16 Spywire race 3. Yeah. Race 4, Barbie Sister, $2.10, and then race 5, another $2.10 shot, We Go Tiger. So you can multi all them for about $7, I think. The 5 horses.
It'll be about that. I had a multi yesterday with the horse that won the last race at Sandown. This name's is Who Dares.
Who Dares. Did you hear the call of that?
No, I didn't.
Oh, it was good. Who Dares Wins, like the old show. That's what it was called. Who Dares Wins.
Who Dares Wins. Yeah.
And the caller absolutely called it. It was an unbelievable call.
I'll have to go back and give it a watch.
Yeah.
I've had it into Spywire, into Freedom Rally, and when there was 11-cent deductions on the Spywire bet, so I went from $1.14 to $1.01. I think I'd just rather it be scratched.
Oh, so what? That bloody Spywire. So who is that? The Mashani horses? Yeah, Mashani. So there's only going to be 4 horses in that race.
Potential if it does come out, which is what it sounds like. I don't think it's come out at this point in time. So
what will they do there? Will they just run the 4, or will they kind of put those horses in other races and make it?
They'll just run the 4.
Jeez, that's annoying.
Yep. Good time to go to the toilet, mate.
Yeah.
Yep.
Lunch. Too
That's
hot.
Right. Exactly. Before we finish up, mate, I know I said only worry about these 3 races, but have you got a best of the day somewhere that you want to give the punters a quick push into, or otherwise, if you don't, they can jump onto Tips and Slips free Facebook group. There's almost 12,000 members in there, so your best bets. Your full card. You do it all. You do about 47 races on a Saturday, and you find plenty of winners, mate.
Mate, my best at Eagle Farm, I mentioned before, Willinga Freefall.
Yep.
And I think my best in Sydney at this stage, Sydney race 4, a horse called Terra Mater with Nashra Willer on it. So that was super impressive after its win first up. So haven't had too much of a look at Ballarat yet. I think if Foxy Cleopatra comes out of Sydney and goes to the Ballarat, which I think it will be, I think it's a massive chance to take that race out.
Yep.
And then obviously almost 3/4 through me Ascot tips punters. So if you want to have a crack at them, get on to members only. On Saturday we do the pubs picks, which for those that don't know, it's pretty much every decent race meeting on the Saturday. We do full selections, quaddie numbers. It's just a little bit separate to the strategy, which is this is just a little bit of an addition to a bit of extra value for the punters for their money, and we've been going good, mate. I think the last couple of weeks there's been a few quaddies, best bets rolling in. Obviously the overpass bet last week was the best bet at Ascot. Still don't know how we got over $3 for it, but yeah, mate, there's winners every Saturday there.
It is, mate. Good time to be on. Hopefully you can, build a little bit of a kitty before Christmas and get that Christmas ham, hey?
Yep, then lose it all on Boxing Day.
Thanks, punters.
See you, punters.